What's up, everybody? How's it going? This is my backyard chicken coop and run that I built almost 2 years ago, and it is super neat and pretty cool, or at least I think so. And so I'm making this video because I made a YouTube short where I did a quick walk around video of the chicken coop and run that I built, and I had a lot of great comments and a lot of questions asking if I had plans for the build and things like that, and I don't have any of that, and I didn't film me making this, and so it's basically impossible for me to make a tutorial video. However, I do have lots of photos that I can share, which will hopefully give you a better idea of how I built this thing. So I know photos are kind of horrible for YouTube, and I get that no one wants to watch a PowerPoint slide on YouTube because that's lame. But I did walk outside and I made this awesome intro video for this video so that you don't have to look at photos the entire time. So yeah, at least I did that. So I'm trying my best. This will not be a tutorial, but it will be a good video where I will share some lessons learned, because like I said, I have tweaked some things over the last almost 2 years. And there are some things that I would do different if I were to build this thing again. But overall, I love this thing. My 6 lovely ladies also, I think, enjoy it most days. So sounds like somebody's riding their motorcycle now. So I'm gonna, switch gears here, and thanks for watching this video. Let's get into it. So when I wanted to build a chicken coop and run, my goal was to have something that would be perfect for 4 to 6 hens. It's really important that if you're going to build a chicken coop and run, you need to know how many chickens you want to have. For those who haven't seen my chicken coop and run, this is just kind of an overview. I don't know why there's so many pine shavings in the run. I don't do that, but I guess in this video I did. This is overall how it turned out. I feel like for 4 to 6 hens, this is great. It's perfect, it's spacious enough. And if it gets super duper cold outside, I can shut up the coop and they're not going to absolutely devour one another right away. This is the access door that I have for my eggs, and I wanted to have something that would be easily cleanable. I didn't have to get inside of it. I could just rake out the stuff. And I feel like overall, I was able to achieve all of the things that I personally wanted in a chicken coop and run. But here's where it all started. I used a lot of leftover lumber that I had from taking out an old deck on my property. But this photo right here was the first accomplishment that I had. The board standing up in the back ended up being some garden bed borders that I didn't use for this, so don't pay attention to those. But this base right here was the first step, was coming up with a solid base for the chicken coop. I wanted the chickens to be able to go underneath the chicken coop just for some additional shade when it does get hot. So you can see I doubled up the 2x6s together, and there's nearly a 4x8 sheet of OSB as the flooring of the chicken coop. So once I had the base built, I decided I was ready to build the walls of the chicken coop. So you can see there, it's nothing too complicated. I just used some 2x6s. For the wall closest to us, it's shorter, and the wall farthest from us is taller, because I wanted to go for a more modern shape instead of an A-frame. So it's not too complicated. Once I had these walls built up just like this, I was ready to start building the roof. And here's a picture of the underside of the roof at the time I was building. I've redone the roof since I built the chicken coop, because at the time I used these PVC panels and they are crap. Like, they are not good. They're not sturdy. They got brittle. They cracked. They broke. They were horrible over time. Eventually, I just took them off, put up a sheet of OSB paneling of some kind, and then I ended up shingling the roof myself. And I think that turned out way better by just putting a solid piece of wood over the top and then putting roof shingles. It insulated it better, and it was much more durable than the paneling. I don't even remember what it was, but it felt like plastic. But you'll want to go with wood and shingles if you can. One of the best upgrades I've made was adding an outdoor outlet to plug in my heat lamps to right outside the chicken coop. Having some power right on the outside of the chicken coop was a great addition. So here it was at the time when I built the roof. Once the roof was up, I was ready to start putting the walls together. I used some decking boards. Now, please don't judge me. A lot of this, as I said, was leftover lumber. So my objective was to just start closing the gaps. If I had a board that fit, I'm going to nail or screw it up and see how it looked. So I started putting boards all the way around the chicken coop, just closing up the gaps. And as I was putting up boards on the outside, I also framed up my nesting box area. And you can see some additional bracing that I added on the inside of the coop just to help with the stability of things. So this area right here is where the nesting boxes were going to be, and you'll note that the flooring is as flat as I could have it, because as I'm cleaning it out, I want it to just sweep out or brush out as easy as I can. Now keep in mind, I probably spent a total of, I want to say I spent around $500 for this whole project of building the coop and run just on certain supplies, which I thought was pretty decent, because if I had to buy all this lumber from the store, it could have easily been over $1,000. At this stage here, you can see the nesting box partitions in between each box was installed just using a piece of wood. And then I started putting up siding paneling. The siding I did have to purchase because I didn't have some of that laying around and I wanted it to be nice and new. So I bought some paneling and just started putting it up. I felt like it was going to be the easiest thing to work with because I could just throw up a sheet on it and start closing up even more of the gaps. The door that I built for my nesting boxes is made out of the same paneling. I just cut one long piece out and then added some trim, used 3 hinges that I had, and then I had to buy a couple of small latches, which I know a lot of people, they don't like latches like that on their coop because they'll say raccoons can get in there. I've had some good luck so far. It's been, almost 2 years, like I said, and haven't had any issues. I'm not saying I couldn't have any issues, but so far the latches for me have worked out pretty good. On the access door, I did add a chain as well. It's a little hard to see in this picture, but there's a chain that does hold the door up about halfway so it doesn't fall all the way down. It can kind of hold the door there while I'm gathering eggs, but the chain is removable so that the door does fall all the way down if I want it to for cleaning purposes. I also built the access door on the side using the same siding paneling too. Used similar latches, which I know some people aren't fond of. That's something I might upgrade down the road, but for now it works great. For the chicken's access door to the coop, I built this little mechanism that could pull the door up or you could let it down, and I did build my run later in such a way where I can access this hook from outside of the coop and the run. There's some fancy doors that you can get that go up and down at daylight or sunset. I don't need anything like that because my chicken run is totally enclosed, so if it's nice out and it's not too cold, I leave the door of my chicken coop open all the time. They can go in and out as early or as late as they want. And here's a neat little window that I have on the inside, and I've actually trained my chickens to open and close this whenever they want. No, they can't close it. I just usually leave it open in the summer and close it in the winter. That's pretty much it for the chicken coop, so I started next building the run, and I had no idea what kind of shape I wanted to do, so I just used the lumber that I had, just framing out what I thought would look kind of cool, and in my head I was envisioning kind of a 2-tiered setup where there would be a taller portion where I wouldn't have to duck when I would need to go into the run for normal maintenance and feeding them. But then the second half of the run, which I'm probably not going to need to go to, it would just be a little bit shorter, so I wouldn't have to use quite as many supplies in it. Now, chicken wire. What I've learned, there's a lot of people who love chickens who hate chicken wire. And I get, they'll say that chicken wire does not keep predators from entering into your chicken run. And I'm not going to totally disagree with them that chicken wire is not that suitable, but for me, it's been almost 2 years. I've had no issues, but I also do understand that chicken wire does get brittle over time. So if you're going to use chicken wire, it is flexible at the start and it does get brittle over time. And one thing I probably will within the next year or so, I probably will upgrade from chicken wire to the hardware cloth, because hardware cloth is more durable to get something thicker. So if I were to go back, I probably would have spent some money just getting some hardware cloth instead of using what I already had. But if I would have known how many people would comment how horrible chicken wire is, I probably wouldn't have used it. But I've had chickens since I was a kid when I grew up out in the country, and I've never had issues with chicken wire not being durable enough. But hey, if you have chicken wire, use it. But if you have the money to do hardware cloth, go ahead and get something a lot thicker. I do extend, it's hard to see in the pictures, but I do extend the chicken wire along the ground. And I did add cement blocks on top of that wire, just in case any animals who do come into close proximity with my run have a hard time digging underneath the wire. Here's a fun picture of when it snows. There's a lot of potential for snow to build up on top, but it's easy to fix by just taking a shop broom and just kind of sifting it through the chicken wire for the snow to fall through. It's an easy fix, but I thought it was kind of neat to show that. Once I put the chicken wire all over the run, I then built a door using pieces of 2x3s, and then I built a ramp for the chickens to easily go in and out of their coop on. Inside the run, I added a couple of shady areas. I added some perches, added a swing, which they never use. That was a disappointment. In my other videos, a lot of people have asked what plants I've had in the run, because today, as it stands, I have some large plants in my run that have not gotten killed. And it's been almost 2 years, and people have been like, what plants are those? And they're just trees. So this area used to be very wooded with thickets and hackberry trees. The chickens let the trees just grow back. I cut them down to the ground and they all just grew back. And I just leave them and I prune them because it provides them additional shady areas in the summertime. I do have a box that I built that actually holds some herbs in there that they would eat and destroy, because if you just put herbs in the run, they're going to destroy it. There in the back, you can see one of the trees that they left. They get pretty big, but they like the shade and they like hiding under them. But if you're going to do herbs, you're going to have to build some sort of protective box so that they don't completely destroy the plants. So I hope this provides some more insight as to how I built my chicken coop and run in my backyard. Overall, I'm happy with it. I love how sturdy it's been and how it's held up. For our family, this size is perfect for our 6 hens. I would not recommend putting more than 6 hens in something this big, but for us, it's been absolutely perfect, and it's so fun to have chickens. If you found this video to be helpful, please click the thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.